your touchtone phone. Please enter your PIN number. Please press the start button on your screen to begin calling.
A few moments later.
Hi guys, welcome back to another video. So in today's video, I want to do the topic on how to get listing through cold calling. And as a matter of fact, I am going through all my stats from last year in the summer when I first started cold calling. So here are 5 parts in this video. And the first part is how long have I been cold calling? And the timeline is exactly I started last year, 2018, right around the end of June. That's when I started cold calling. And I switched to another company for about 5 months and I finished all my transactions with the buyer. So at the time I was like, what now? So I was feeling kind of anxious because I want to start building that pipeline, and I know in order for me to do that I have to get listing, and in order for me to get listing I have to start cold calling. So I started reaching out to my friend Teddy Smith on YouTube, and he pulled me into this prospecting group with a few other friends, and that's how I started cold calling. So the second question I always get is like, how many listings have I gotten ever since I started cold calling? And I calculated I've gotten about 3 listings from last year in the summer up until now, but that 3 listings actually leads to 3 more listings because of referral. So my first ever seller lead that I got on the phone was when I was start calling my farm, and this person picked up and then he said, if you could bring someone to buy my house for about $200,000, then I would sell it. So I looked him up on public record and I find out that house was actually a corner house. So I end up finding him a buyer and got about 4% commission. I know it's low, but that was like my first ever seller lead. So I got paid on 2% on the seller side, which is still good. Because of that, I gained experience, and then I start building more and more momentum, and then as I dial more numbers along the way. So that first ever seller ended up to refer me a lot more business in the future because he was very happy with my service. So the third question I always get from you guys is, how long did I call on the phone? And to be honest, it's brutal because I spend pretty much long hours on the phone. I call from Monday to Friday, and I spend portion of time on the weekend to cold call as well. So average, I spend 3 to 4 hours on the phone. But when I first started calling, I tried to call every day about 2 hours. And on these 3 to 4 hours, I will reach about 500 dials. And through those dials, 1.5 lead usually per 2 days. So I'll get about like 1 lead per day, and that's if I'm lucky. And usually along a week, I'll probably get 2 to 3 listing appointments. And if I can turn one of those listing appointments into a listing, and that's a great week. So that's my stats. And the fourth question that I always get on social media is, what does my script sound like? So I don't really have a specific script just because I don't want to sound robotic on the phone. When I'm calling my farm, I typically just go straight to the question. I introduce who I am and I ask them if they are thinking about selling their home or their property. And if the answer is no, then I'll go ahead and ask them, are you planning on selling it anytime in the future, like a year or 2? And if they say yes, then I'll put them as a warm lead. If no, then I'll just trash them. So last but not least, what have I learned through cold calling from last year up until now? I have learned 3 things. The first one is follow-up is the key. I have lost business because I didn't follow up on time. I remember there's a seller that I followed up before I went back to China in February, and I came back. I didn't follow up with him on time. I waited about a week, and then when I followed up with him, he said he had already listed with somebody else because he couldn't find my phone number in his phone because he didn't save it. if he has saved my number, I'll probably be his listing agent. So that was a lesson that I learned, and definitely follow up and stay on top of your game. And the second thing that I have learned is at the beginning of cold calling, I would not know how to qualify sellers. So I would go on a listing appointment just to go on a listing appointment. And now that I know how to use my time more efficiently, I'll definitely throw all the pre-qualification questions before I go on the listing appointment. I'm going to make sure that this is a qualified seller, they have equity in the home, they want to sell right away, they're super motivated, and both decision makers are going to be present during my listing presentation. So the last thing that I learned from cold calling is I should start as soon as I can. I wish I can start sooner. So all these things that I have learned in my 1 year about cold calling, and I hope you guys enjoy this video. Please hit a like and share this video if you think it's going to benefit others. Thank you so much for watching, and this is Luna over here. I will see you guys in the next one.